Please welcome co-founder of the Aurora Prize, Noubar Afeyan, and Marguerite Barankitse.
Great. Good afternoon. I'm here in a couple of different capacities. By day, my job involves founding new companies. I've been involved in the last 30 years in starting up numerous life science companies that affect health, that affect agriculture, and that affect renewable energy. And you might say, what does that have to do with the theme for today? As many of you have already spoken, entrepreneurship is a particular type of activity in that it brings you facing real-life, desperate situations. And many of you have experienced what I've experienced, and that is the life of being a survivor. You're constantly going from one crisis to the other. Others of you have also noted just how similar the track of an immigrant is to what startups feel like. In that, as an immigrant, you take nothing for granted, you assume nothing, you don't know the local customs, and you fight very hard to get your ideas across and to prevail. And those two themes, the immigrant mindset and the survivor mindset that I've taken for granted for all these years, are in part what led to the formation of the Aurora Prize. The Aurora Prize, which is the second capacity in which I'm here, was a prize that was launched last year. It's a humanitarian prize that was co-founded together with Dr. Vartan Gregorian, the president of the Carnegie Corporation, and Ruben Vartanian, an international businessman and philanthropist. And together, we wanted to create this prize to bring the world's attention to acts that are going on every day today, and I'm going to introduce our guest today in a minute, that involve an act of saving the life of others in the face of imminent and mass danger. And we hear a lot about tragedies, but we hardly hear about those who step in at the minute that the tragedy is taking place. And we wanted to bring a lot of attention to that. And you might say, why is this an important theme? This prize was created really on the anniversary of the Armenian genocide that took place 100 years ago. And as descendants of the survivors of that genocide, we realized that rather than looking back, we also needed to look at the present moment and say, what is it that people are doing today that mirrors the act of generosity that saved the life of our ancestors? And rather than bring people's attention back, we wanted to bring the attention to the present world. So this prize was handed out for the first time in April of 2016. The judging panel, co-chaired by George Clooney and the late Elie Wiesel, looked at many first-generation nominations, and our guest today, Marguerite Barankitse, became the first laureate. And when you hear her story and what has inspired her and the work she's done over the last 25 years, you'll realize just how important this is for the world to really learn from and to perpetuate. The one last thing I want to say before handing this over to her is the following, and that is at these moments of crisis, whether they be genocides or other types of mass crimes, we always focus on the victims and we always focus on the perpetrators, and that's correct. But in addition, at that moment, often are born two other types of experiences. One is that of a savior, and one is that of a survivor. And the truly poignant stories for us are where survivors become saviors of others. And that's really what stood out in Marguerite's story. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to the inaugural laureate of the Aurora Prize. And Marguerite, tell us about your experience and what led you to found the Maison Shalom that you've been conducting your activities through. Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. You will be, how to say, my English is not so good, but I will talk with my heart. I work with children, I am not shy. Then why I create Maison Shalom? I was born, yes, before the independence. Do you know where is Burundi? And then I lost my father when I was only 5 years old. And since the independence, my country always massacres. And when I was teenager, 16 years old, and I was shocked to see that militaries came to take our teachers. And no compassion I saw in the eyes with other pupils, the professor, the teachers. Then I decided to become a teacher. I changed the school. And then I said, I must do something. In my family, everybody said, are you crazy? You want to change your country? Then I became a teacher. And I have seen social injustice. I decided to adopt one child. I was young, 24 years old. I said I was orphan. My father died when I was 5 years old. My mom was very young, 24 years old. And I said, I can do something for other orphans because many people helped me, my uncles, my aunt. But my family can't understood me. When I adopted the first child, I was young, and she was Hutu, and I was Tutsi. She was Protestant, I was Catholic. She came from south, I came from east. Everybody said, you are crazy. But I continue to adopt. I adopt 7 children, 4 Hutu and 3 Tutsis. Unfortunately, the war came, and it was in 1993. Hutu came in my village. They killed my family, uncles, aunts, and cousins. But I don't want to revenge. I decide to protect other people. I went in Bishop's house, but Tutsi came and they tied me, and they killed 72 people in front of me. But I said, I have two choices. Or I leave my country and I go in other country and I abandon my dreams. I decide to choose love and forgiveness. I began to take all the children who lose their parents. I began with 25 children. After 10 years, I have more than 20,000 children. But then I began like that, to give hope, to create new generation who will be able to break the cycle of violence. And when the war began again last year, I flee my country, and now I work with refugees in Rwanda.
So actually, that brings us to the point about the irony of Rwanda, a country of survivors, now offering refuge to Burundis who have escaped. You were saying earlier that there are some 60,000 refugees in the camp that you work with today. Maybe talk a little bit about the current mission you have in Rwanda and what you're able to do, and maybe also why you left Burundi.
I left Burundi because they decide they want to kill me and they want to arrest me. I decided to go and to follow the refugees to create again hope, because nobody can stop the love. I decide even there is no fatality in our life. I decide to help young people. I send them to school. I help mothers, young ladies young women who were raped. And then to create always, because our human vocation is to love, to distribute happiness.
Tell us, your type of organization that has such a vast mission of protecting and then helping people recover, what type of needs do you have? Obviously, you're receiving support, but what about social media, technology, support from others in the international community? What do you feel will really help you reach your goals?
I think with technology, we can change the world. For example, if in a refugee camp, we have more than 58,000 people, and among those people, 60% are children. Imagine how you can change their lives with WhatsApp, with internet. They can communicate, and we can share our suffering and change the world. And the world will know what happened, because we are one human family. How we can be in indifference?
Mm-hmm. Tell us, thank you. This meeting is also looking forward to 2030. Tell us what your vision would be for 2030 in your country, the country you want to come back to. How do you see the future?
For me, I believe what I wish for 2030 to become really a true one family. In this one family we share. It's so stupid that in this family, some are dying because they eat too much, when the other die because they have nothing. We can dream this world. I believe in that. I think, imagine how, like John Lennon, who knows this song? Who can sing this? I dream that every morning people can share the hope.
It's fantastic. Well, thanks a lot. I think that the example here, and we hope one of many in the coming years as we look for and find the modern day heroes that are doing this type of work of going from being survivors to getting enough of the energy and inspiration to save others, to act as a constant reminder that these situations also give us an opportunity to impact the lives of many. So thank you very much, and thanks for having us here today.
Thank you. Thank you. You see, imagine